Well, we are halfway through marking period 2 and 3/4 of the way through the fall semester. In January, we're going to be examining our Smarty goals, so it's a good time for us to revisit them now. We decided we were going to look at math, language, routines, and complete peer observations, or plan and share differentiated lessons, or incorporate some kind of new scaffold support or culturally responsive practice. Let's take a moment and remind ourselves why we are doing this. We want to increase equitable access to grade level mathematics. We want to strengthen our students' mathematical language, reasoning, and participation. We want to reflect on our teaching practices based on real student data, and we want to improve the outcomes of our district assessments and our marking period grades. So right now, all PLCs should be completing peer observations or sharing those common differentiated lessons or figuring out what other scaffolded supports they're going to be using. We should be documenting what it is that we're trying. If we have any evidence of student engagement or student understanding, we should be recording that. We should be analyzing our student interim data and then coming together as PLCs to talk about what supports are needed. When we're analyzing our interim grade data, we want to identify students that have inconsistent performance or may benefit from re-engagement or targeted support. I pulled all of our interim data in Looker Studio so that we can examine how we are doing as a department, how we're doing as a PLC, and also how we are doing as an individual teacher. This is the second page of the Looker Studio report, and under course descriptions, you can examine your PLC so that you can see overall how student grades are doing. You can look at their absences. If you would like to see just your students, you can click on your teacher ID, and then you can kind of look a little closer at what's happening in your class. If you click on any of the slices of the pie chart, so if I wanted to look at my 4 students that are failing, so if I click, then it excludes everyone else, and I can see who is chronically absent, if that is the impact, or is it a student who has been coming consistently, and then I can dig a little deeper as to why they're not being successful. This is where it's really nice to be able to talk with your PLC about different differentiation practices so that you can adjust instruction before the end of the marking period. And then looking ahead, how are we going to use this in January? Well, in January, each PLC is going to identify how successful they were with their Smarty goal. So looking at from interims until the end of the marking period, was there an instructional shift that made a measurable difference? Is there anything that needs revisiting? We'll take a look at that all together in January. Once you have analyzed your data and determined some instructional strategies, you will go into Canvas in our Blair Math Department course under Modules and complete the Math Department December quiz.